Have you ever sensed a shift in your relationship but couldn't quite pinpoint what it was? It's a feeling that can leave you puzzled and uneasy. Today, let's talk about 6 signs that a woman may be ready to move on. Recognizing these signs is essential, especially for men who value emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Understanding the subtle changes in a relationship can make all the difference in maintaining meaningful connections and avoiding unnecessary pain. Relationships aren't always straightforward. When things start to feel off, it's easy to get lost in confusion and frustration. But by learning to identify key signs of disinterest or disengagement, you can approach these situations with clarity and confidence. In this video, we'll break down 6 clear indicators that her feelings might be shifting. Paying attention to these clues can save you time, energy, and emotional turmoil. Whether you're sensing a change or simply want to be prepared, these insights are invaluable for navigating the complex dynamics of love and connection. At the heart of every successful relationship is an understanding of emotional dynamics. For men who prioritize personal growth, being attuned to your partner's emotional state is more than just a skill. It's a necessity. Subtle shifts in behavior or mood can signal underlying issues that, if left unaddressed, may lead to bigger problems. By noticing these changes early on, you can respond with empathy and care, ensuring your partner feels seen and understood. It's important to remember that relationships require consistent effort. They are not static. They evolve and change over time. Being proactive about potential issues helps prevent misunderstandings and fosters a stronger bond. Emotional intelligence allows you to approach challenges with maturity, addressing problems before they escalate. This mindset not only strengthens your partnership, but also supports your growth as an individual. Ultimately, understanding and responding to the emotional dynamics in a relationship empowers men to create deeper, more fulfilling connections. By staying aware and engaged, you can nurture a lasting bond built on mutual respect and understanding. So, if you're ready to improve your relationships and navigate them with confidence, tune in to the insights we're sharing today. Your journey towards stronger, healthier connections starts here. Sign 1. A decline in communication. Have you noticed the once effortless flow of conversations between you and your partner has started to dwindle? When communication becomes infrequent or shallow, it may be a sign that her interest in the relationship is fading. Perhaps those long, meaningful discussions have been replaced with brief, one-word replies. Maybe there's a noticeable lack of enthusiasm in her tone, or an avoidance of deeper topics altogether. Effective communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. It builds connection, fosters intimacy, and nurtures understanding. Without it, distance and misunderstandings can creep in, creating a rift that's hard to bridge. If your partner stops sharing her thoughts, feelings, or even the little details of her day with you, it's a signal worth paying attention to. It could point to something deeper. Imagine this scenario. A man who used to share nightly conversations with his girlfriend about their hopes, struggles, and dreams began to notice a change. Her replies became short and disinterested, and she increasingly avoided discussions that required vulnerability or depth. At first, he dismissed it as stress or fatigue, but over time, it became clear that her disengagement was a sign of emotional withdrawal. Ultimately, this lack of communication led to a growing disconnect, and eventually the relationship ended. The lesson here is clear. Recognizing these shifts early gives you the opportunity to address them before they spiral out of control. It's not just about saving the relationship. It's about understanding what's happening beneath the surface and deciding how to move forward with honesty and respect for both partners' needs. Relationships thrive on open dialogue, and when that dialogue falters, it's time to take a closer look. Being proactive about addressing communication gaps can safeguard your emotional investment and help preserve the connection you've built. If you notice these signs in your relationship, don't wait. Start the conversation and approach the issue with compassion and curiosity. Sign 2. Declining interest in spending time together. Have you noticed a shift in your partner's enthusiasm for spending time with you? When a woman who once looked forward to shared experiences starts to decline your invitations, prioritize other activities, or suggest separate plans, it's often a sign that something deeper may be changing in the relationship. Strong relationships are built on shared moments, laughter, connection, and the joy of simply being together. When these moments start to fade, and your partner consistently opts for outings with friends, immerses herself in hobbies, or avoids your efforts to connect, it could be a sign of emotional disengagement. This shift might indicate she's re-evaluating her commitment, prioritizing her independence, or creating distance. Consider this scenario. A man once enjoyed a thriving relationship filled with exciting adventures and intimate moments with his girlfriend. They had a rhythm of shared dinners, movie nights, and spontaneous plans that brought them closer. But over time, he noticed a change. She began turning down his invitations, often choosing to hang out with friends instead. While he initially dismissed these signs, hoping things would improve, her emotional distance only grew. Eventually, the lack of shared time and connection led her to ask for space, and the relationship came to an end. The lesson here is clear. Noticing these signs early can make a big difference. Relationships require effort from both sides, and addressing a partner's declining interest in spending time together is an opportunity to have an honest conversation. Ignoring these cues can lead to further misunderstandings and emotional pain for both parties. If you find yourself in this situation, take a step back and approach the issue with empathy and curiosity. What's driving the change? Is there something in the relationship that needs to be addressed? By recognizing these shifts and addressing them with emotional intelligence, you can navigate the dynamics with clarity and mutual respect. Sometimes, these moments of distance can be a chance for growth, either as individuals or as a couple. Sign 3. Emotional withdrawal. Emotional withdrawal happens when a partner starts to disconnect from the emotional core of the relationship. This often shows up as a decline in affection, intimacy, and openness. It can be subtle at first, a missed compliment here, a lack of physical touch there, but over time, the signs become hard to ignore. When a woman begins to pull away emotionally, it might look like fewer heartfelt conversations or a reluctance to share her thoughts and feelings. Physical gestures of affection, like holding hands or cuddling, may start to disappear. These changes can create a growing sense of distance, leaving the relationship feeling hollow and strained. Imagine a man who once enjoyed a deep, loving connection with his girlfriend. She used to light up their conversations with compliments and share her dreams, worries, and daily experiences with him. Over time, though, he noticed a shift. Her once warm and affectionate demeanor turned distant. The little acts of love, like spontaneous hugs or sweet words, became rare. Conversations that once felt vibrant and full of connection dwindled into polite exchanges. By the time he realized the extent of her emotional withdrawal, it was too late. She expressed her frustration, saying she felt unsupported and disconnected, and the damage to their relationship was irreversible. Emotional withdrawal doesn't happen overnight, but recognizing it early is key. Relationships thrive on emotional intimacy, shared vulnerability, and consistent effort from both partners. When those elements start to fade, it's crucial to address the issue openly and empathetically. For men who value strong, meaningful relationships, paying attention to these subtle changes can be transformative. It's an opportunity to rebuild the emotional bridge before the gap becomes insurmountable. Start by having honest conversations, expressing your feelings, and creating a safe space for your partner to share hers. Emotional intimacy is the foundation of a healthy, lasting connection, and nurturing it can help you navigate the challenges that inevitably arise in any relationship. By recognizing and addressing emotional withdrawal, you can foster a deeper bond and prevent unnecessary heartbreak, ensuring that both you and your partner feel valued, supported, and connected. Sign 4. Increased criticism and discontent. When criticism becomes a regular part of your relationship, it's often a sign of deeper dissatisfaction. Frequent complaints about small, seemingly insignificant issues can indicate unresolved frustrations or unmet needs. This shift might show up as nitpicking, focusing on your flaws, or turning minor disagreements into larger arguments. For instance, a woman who once admired her partner's ambition might suddenly start criticizing how he manages his time or handles his responsibilities. Compliments are replaced with pointed comments, and casual interactions can feel like walking on eggshells. Over time, this creates a negative atmosphere where the focus shifts from appreciating each other's strengths to constantly highlighting faults. Imagine this. A man begins to notice his girlfriend making remarks about how he dresses or how often he checks his phone during their conversations. At first, he brushes these off, assuming they're minor irritations that will pass. But as time goes on, the criticisms become more frequent and intense. What starts as small comments grows into regular arguments, and the connection they once shared begins to weaken. Eventually, she confesses her discontent, explaining that she feels unsupported and misunderstood. By then, the damage has already taken its toll, leading to the end of their relationship. The lesson here is to recognize the underlying message behind the criticism. Often, it's not about the specific complaints, but a reflection of deeper emotional needs that aren't being met. High-value men who can spot these signs early have the opportunity to address them constructively. Instead of dismissing criticism, approach it with curiosity. What's really behind these comments? How can I better understand my partner's feelings and concerns? Open and empathetic communication is essential in these moments. By creating a space where your partner feels heard and valued, you can shift the focus from conflict to connection. This proactive approach not only helps to rebuild a supportive and loving relationship, but also strengthens the foundation of trust and understanding. Increased criticism doesn't have to signal the end. It can be an invitation to grow together and address the needs of both partners in a way that fosters deeper connection and mutual respect. Sign 5. Talking about the future without you. When your partner begins to discuss her future plans without including you, it's a strong signal that her vision of the relationship may be shifting. Whether she's talking about career moves, personal goals, or exciting travel plans, leaving you out of the picture suggests a lack of commitment to the relationship's future. For instance, she might share her dream of relocating to another city for a job opportunity or planning a big trip with friends, but never mentions how you fit into those plans. Instead of we, Her narrative becomes centered on I. This subtle but significant change can indicate that she no longer sees a shared future. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual investment in each other's aspirations and goals. When discussions about the future become one-sided, it's important to pay attention to what's being communicated between the lines. Consider the story of a man whose girlfriend frequently talked about her ambitions, landing a new job abroad, or exploring exotic destinations, but she always framed these plans as solo endeavors. Initially, he thought she was simply excited about her personal growth and independence. Over time, though, he realized she never mentioned how he factored into her long-term plans. When she eventually announced her decision to move away without considering their relationship, it became evident that she had already emotionally detached. Recognizing these signs early can empower you to reevaluate the relationship and take action. Open communication is essential. Ask her how she envisions the future and listen carefully to her response. Does she see you as part of her journey, or is she focusing solely on her path? For high-value men, this isn't just about preserving a relationship. It's about ensuring that both partners are aligned in their goals and commitments. If you're not part of her future plans, it's an opportunity to reassess your own priorities and decide whether to address the disconnect or move forward separately. A partner who sees a future with you will naturally include you in her dreams and decisions. If she doesn't, it's a clear sign to reflect on the relationship and determine the best path for your own emotional well-being. Sign 6. She's no longer supportive. Support is one of the foundational pillars of any healthy and thriving relationship. When it starts to diminish, it can be a clear signal that your partner is emotionally disengaging. A lack of encouragement, indifference toward your achievements, or even apathy about your daily life can indicate that she's no longer invested in the relationship. For example, imagine a man who has been pouring his energy into advancing his career. He's worked tirelessly to secure a promotion and can't wait to share the news with his girlfriend, expecting her to be excited and celebrate alongside him. Instead, her response is a lukewarm, "That's nice," before she quickly shifts the conversation to her own interests. Over time, he begins to notice similar patterns. She stops asking about his projects, avoids discussions about his goals, and doesn't offer encouragement during his challenges. Where she once cheered him on, now there's silence, or worse, indifference. At first, he brushes it off, convincing himself that she's simply busy or preoccupied. But this consistent lack of support creates an emotional gap. When a partner stops being your cheerleader, it can leave you feeling isolated in your journey. This shift in behavior often reflects a deeper withdrawal from the relationship. Without mutual support, the connection can weaken, leaving both partners feeling unfulfilled. It's important to understand that support goes beyond celebrating milestones. It's about being present in the small moments, encouraging each other's growth, and sharing in both successes and struggles. If you notice that your partner has stopped showing interest in your achievements or challenges, it's worth addressing these changes directly and empathetically. Open a conversation. Ask her how she's feeling about the relationship and whether there's anything she'd like to discuss. Approach the discussion with curiosity rather than accusation. Sometimes, a lack of support stems from her own frustrations or unmet needs, which can be resolved through honest communication. This lack of support is just one of several signs that a woman may be withdrawing from the relationship. Others include 1. Decreased communication, when conversations become shallow, infrequent, or lack emotional depth. 2. Lack of interest in spending time together. She consistently declines invitations or prioritizes other activities over quality time with you. 3. Emotional withdrawal, a reduction in affection, intimacy, and vulnerability. 4. Increased criticism, frequent complaints and nitpicking over small issues, often masking deeper frustrations. 5. Talking about the future without you, planning her goals, trips, or major life changes without including you. Each of these signs points to potential challenges in the relationship, but they also offer an opportunity for growth, both as individuals and as a couple. Recognizing them early gives you the chance to address the underlying issues before they escalate. Relationships require effort, attention, and mutual commitment. If you find yourself facing these signs, remember that they aren't necessarily the end of the road. They're an invitation to reassess, communicate, and make necessary changes. Emotional intelligence and proactive action are key to navigating these challenges effectively. Finally, as you reflect on these dynamics, consider how they contribute to your personal growth. Every relationship, whether it succeeds or ends, teaches valuable lessons about yourself and what you need to build healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could be the encouragement someone else needs on their journey. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Remember, recognizing these signs isn't just about improving your current relationship. It's a step toward becoming the best version of yourself and creating stronger connections ahead. Let this knowledge guide you to relationships that are grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and support.